This is a quick search I did on Google. This is Gemini generated recommendation, but again, what I'm gonna add here are some more details. And I already see that one of the control is mentioned as cloud security, which is wrong. I mean, that's not a control. Anyways, take a look and go through it. What can you do if you do not have any of these? So multi-factor, of course, is one of those control you got to have to strengthen your identity posture. So if you have a Microsoft 365 or Google Suite or AWS, regardless, on those cloud environment, you got to have multi-factor authentication implemented. But if you have a hybrid, of course, you can use the same technology. But if you're on premises, that's a different thing. And so again, we're talking about cloud security and cybersecurity, of course, but things to do with cloud security, because cloud security, your posture management completely changes, and your identity is your perimeter, not your firewall. So that's why you have to have a strong second form of authentication, which is we have seen in some environment that also been compromised. But again, you got to have, so as a technology, what tools and technology you need to know. For example, if you're on Microsoft, then Microsoft Entra ID does have MFA. It's free of cost available. You can go and use it. Same thing available is in Microsoft 365. But as a non-Microsoft, you can also look into Duo, which is a product from Cisco, and another product is called Okta, OKTA. So a couple of products available in the market, and whichever works for you, you can use it. But if you have Microsoft Shop, again, it's available for you today for free. Second recommendation is about incident response plan, and which is why it is important then, because plan is a whole program which is a documented procedure. What would happen, or what would you do if there is some incident, if somebody is trying to compromise and get in your system through email phishing or brute force attack. So incident response plan. So if the incident happens, how are you going to act on that? So somebody's account is compromised, that could be an incident, a ticket needs to be raised and all that, because then there could be possibly a breach, right? So though a breach has to be confirmed, so along those lines, you have to have a documented procedure. The right people, the stakeholders needs to be contacted. The contact detail of your contact center, which is security operations center or network operating operations center, that's another important piece. um, Also, if you have this information, then you have to have also the right contact details of your security team as well as other IT team, because security or cybersecurity team is protecting your IT asset. So if there is something going wrong with the databases, you need to know who is in IT is responsible for databases along those lines. Cloud security here is not a control, it's practices. I don't know why it's under cybersecurity, but cloud security has 15 domains itself as per the Cloud Security Alliance. They're touching a little bit on encryption. They're talking about identity and access management and regularly reviewing the environment, which is itself is very big because misconfiguration and all that. So when it comes to this, I would not say cloud security. I would say look into the privilege accounts or role-based access. You don't, if you global admins, how many global admins you have. You don't want to have every IT person being a global admin, because they can just go and delete the whole organization. So you really, really want to be very careful and don't want to take such risk when it comes to identity and access management. You make sure you implement role-based access. You must give them need to know basis kind of privileges. It's area itself, and then you need to regularly monitor, because people come and go, right? Somebody leaves the organization, you got to make sure your accounts are disabled. And when people are having those accesses, you also need to monitor from which location do they access to your environment. Somebody US, then if you don't work outside US, then it's a red flag, you need to monitor. So a lot of things goes into that area itself. So again, make sure you know your environment and implement those controls. Cyber user awareness, or it's called end user cybersecurity awareness training, basically. I think it is the most important one, and I would try first implementing it, because any organization, you're in IT and cybersecurity, you're supporting account, finance, sales, and retail. and these people are not tech savvy. They do not know about the technology, all that stuff. So these are the people, they get email phishing, their accounts get phished, compromised all the time. So education and training is very, very important to that audience, which is not a tech audience, and you have to keep training them all the time. Educate them that do not click all the emails, do not receive any email, do not share this email outside organization, do not click any email with attachment, and try avoiding any email so which is non-business related emails. And for personal use, separate a personal account and do not access those email on your work computer. So again, on the work computer, you don't want access to a Gmail account. In large organization, they do block access to the Gmail and Outlook. But again, mid-size and all those I've seen, they have a lenient policy, but that can also come up with the high price. So you got to make sure you have a pretty much good controller on that, and also train your user. When it comes to password, it is applicable both to the corporate and end user. If you're a personal user, gonna make sure you have a long, strong password. But in IT organization or security perspective, you can enforce the password policy. For example, if you're using a six-character password, you can have to implement a policy that password length should be minimum of 12 characters. So this is how you can enforce the policy. So if you want to build your skills, learn how to implement policies. And if you're running this program, you got to make sure you have the people who can implement the policy. So you got to make sure you have a strong policy for the password, complexity of the password policy, and also you're using multi-factor. Again, there's a huge list. I can go hours and hours, but on this one, I want to share some tips and tricks. And in the next video, I will be sharing more. Let me know, and what do you think about it? How are you practicing it? And I will cover some more topics. Thank you.